Imagine stepping back into the house where every whisper of doubt once echoed off the walls. The place that shaped you into someone they never saw coming. That's where it all began for Emily Carter. On a crisp December evening in rural Iowa, the kind of small-town America where family legacies are etched in cornfields and factory lines. The air was thick with the scent of evergreen and honey-glazed ham. Christmas lights twinkling like false promises. Emily stood there, her designer coat still dusted with airport snow, feeling like an intruder in her own childhood home. 8 years had passed since she'd last crossed that threshold, 8 years of grinding silence from the people who were supposed to believe in her most. Her silver necklace, a simple chain she'd bought with her first startup paycheck, caught the light as she scanned the room. The antique oak china cabinet, crammed with heirloom plates no one ever used. The mantel crowded with framed photos of her brothers, Jason and Tyler, grinning beside their father at ribbon cuttings for Carter Agritech. The family empire that turned Iowa soil into multi-million-dollar machinery. Not a single shot of her. Not even from her valedictorian days. The dining table loomed like a courtroom, set with the same starched linens and sterling silver that had witnessed 1,000 family verdicts. Her father, Robert Carter, sat at the head like always, his broad shoulders filling the chair he'd inherited from his own old man. To the future of Carter Agritech, he boomed, lifting his wine glass high, his voice carrying that gravelly authority that had once made Emily shrink. The room clinked in response, her mother, Linda, forcing a smile while fussing with her napkin, Jason straightening up, eyes gleaming with anticipation, Tyler nodding along, ever the loyal second. As I edged toward retirement, Robert continued, I've decided on the leadership. Jason steps up as CEO. Tyler as COO. Ownership splits evenly between them. The Carter name carries on through my boys. His gaze skipped right over Emily, landing on her brothers like a benediction. The words hung there, heavy as lead, sucking the oxygen from the room. Eyes flicked her way, pitying, avoiding, then darted back to their plates. Emily's fingers tightened around her water glass, the condensation slick against her palm. 8 years ago, she'd have swallowed it, bowed her head, played the dutiful daughter. But now she felt a strange calm settling in, like the eye of a storm she'd weathered alone. Understood, she said, her voice even, almost casual. Robert nodded, satisfied, assuming submission. But Emily's mind raced back to that pivotal day 8 years prior, right here in this room. Fresh from Stanford with a degree in artificial intelligence, diploma clutched like a shield, she'd pitched her idea, AI algorithms that could revolutionize crop yield predictions and sustainable farming tech. It could change everything for family farms like ours, she'd said, her eyes alight with the fire of possibility. Robert had chuckled, deep and dismissive. Darlin', that's just tinkering with computers. Leave the real work to your brothers, Jason and Tyler, with their community college business degrees. Had smirked in agreement. Find a nice guy to settle down with, Linda had added, patting her hand gently, as if that was the pinnacle of ambition for a girl from their world. That night, Emily had packed her bags, applied for every grant and loan under the sun, juggled 2 waitressing gigs and a coding freelance hustle until her first angel investor bit. Now, as Robert droned on about transition plans, Emily sipped her water, watching her reflection warp in the crystal. Tomorrow, the masks would drop. Tonight, she'd let them think they still called the shots. Dessert arrived, pecan pie on the family's prized Wedgwood china, when her 15-year-old nephew, Alex, let out a sharp gasp from his phone. Whoa, he muttered, fumbling the device, his eyes wide as saucers. Aunt Emily. You're You're on Forbes. The room iced over. Jason's fork scraped loudly against his plate. Tyler's coffee mug hovered. Forgotten. Linda's hand fluttered to her chest. Let me see that, Robert demanded, snatching the phone. Alex angled it toward the table instead. There was Emily's face, poised and professional. Next to a headline that exploded like a grenade, Agri-AI sold for $4.2 billion. Emily Carter's tech transforms global farming. Robert read it aloud, his voice cracking on the numbers. Pioneering AI for precision agriculture. Expected to slash crop losses worldwide. 8 years of blood, sweat, and isolation boiled down to a metric they couldn't ignore: $2.5 billion net worth. Well, Linda murmured, folding her napkin precisely. This is quite the surprise. We need to talk, Robert barked, shoving back his chair. Living room. Now. They filed in. The space a shrine to the Carter men. Jason's MBA graduation photo. Tyler's wedding portrait. Endless shots of father-son hunting trips and industry galas. Emily sank into the sofa while Robert paced like a caged bull. How long were you going to keep this under wraps? He accused, his face reddening. I wasn't hiding it, she replied coolly, swirling her wine. The deal went public 3 months ago. You could have Googled me. You should have called, Linda interjected, perching on an armchair, her posture shrinking. Like you called me? Emily shot back, the edge sharper than intended. Robert's jaw clenched. I never figured that tech hobby of yours would amount to anything. I was shielding you from heartbreak. The raw truth spilled out years of "it's just a fad" and "stick to what women do best." Jason hovered in the doorway. I should have mentioned. Emily asked me for startup cash back then. I said no cause Dad warned against feeding pipe dreams. Emily's chest tightened like a vice. You knew I was scraping by on ramen and red-eye flights. Your brother was just following my lead, Robert snapped. And my emails, she turned to Linda. I send updates every year for the first 3. Linda's gaze dropped. Your father thought best not to encourage until you came around. I kept them from him. I'm sorry. The betrayals layered on. Each one a fresh wound: father's control, brother's cowardice, mother's complicity. This has to be hype, Robert waved it off. Tech valuations crash and burn. Tyler chimed in. Yeah. Bubbles pop. But Jason pivoted. Oily smooth. We always knew you had it in you. Remember me helping with your high school coding homework? She stared. You mean when you plagiarized my project and we both got suspended? We've been rooting for you, Linda added, her voice quivering with revisionism. I always said tech was the wave of the future. Robert nodded. That drive? You got it from me. The gall of it stole her breath, their frantic rewrite of history, claiming stakes in a victory they'd sabotaged. A text buzzed, Mr. Jenkins, her old high school coding teacher. Saw Forbes. Knew you'd shake the world. Kid. Proud of the girl who coded through lunch breaks. His unvarnished belief anchored her amid the storm. As her family scrambled to co-opt her triumph, Emily weighed the cost: correct their lies and risk deeper rifts, or let the fiction stand for a fragile peace. The next morning, eavesdropping from the kitchen, Emily heard Robert on the phone in his study. The door cracked just enough for his boasts to leak out. Yeah, Bill. She finally hit it big. All that tough love I dished out paid off. His laugh grated like sandpaper. I kept telling her to aim higher. Her knuckles whitened on the counter. 8 years of ghosting. And now he was the hero to his golf buddies? Her phone lit up again, cousins she'd barely spoken to in a decade. Suddenly, checking in with thinly veiled pitches. Cousin Sarah's boutique needed seed funding. Uncle Tom's kid wanted tuition help. The family vines twisted toward her fortune, not her forgiveness. The landline rang. The kitchen aide answered. It's the Des Moines Register. Interview on raising a self-made billionaire. Emily's laugh was bitter. Hollow. Tell them we're not available. The we tasted like ash. Upstairs in her old bedroom, the faded posters of tech pioneers still clung to the walls, a reminder of the dreams she'd chased alone. Memories flooded. 3 jobs post-Stanford, barista at dawn. Data entry afternoons. Freelance coding till the wee hours, after Robert refused to fund her foolish degree, insisting she marry into stability. Tears in her cramped apartment when investors bailed. Her prototype mocked. Then the turning point, an email from a Kansas farmer whose fields were saved by her early AI model, predicting a drought that experts missed. You saved my livelihood, he'd written. She kept that note laminated in her wallet. A talisman against doubt. A knock pulled her back. Aunt Emily? It was her niece. Mia. 13 and awkward. Hugging a laptop. My STEM club project. I thought maybe. I want to be like you. Not them. Emily's first real smile bloomed. Warmth cracking the ice in her veins. Let's dive in. Kiddo. Later. She confronted Robert in his study. The room a mausoleum of agri-tech trophies and leather-bound ledgers. He looked diminished, his bluster fading. I was protecting you, he claimed, voice softening falsely. Tech chews up and spits out dreamers. The excuse ignited her. You weren't protecting, you were erasing me. Dismissing my ideas. Pushing marriage over ambition. That wasn't care. That was chains. He gaped, speechless. Her thoughts flashed to Mr. Jenkins, smuggling scholarship apps past her father's radar. Your brain's a powerhouse, he'd said. Don't let M dim it. Standing taller, Emily declared. Family dinner tomorrow. Time for the full truth. The next evening, Robert called the gathering. Toasting my trailblazing daughter who heeded my wisdom. Glasses clinked. Emily smiled silently. Then she rose. To family and honesty. Eyes locked on each face. She unraveled the timeline. 8 years back. June 4th, 2018. I pitched my AI here. Got told to snag a husband instead. Robert fidgeted. 22 loan rejections. Including yours. Jason, July 15th. Linda gasped. 3 jobs. Dawn shifts at the diner on Main. Tech support evenings. Coding gigs till dawn. For 18 months. The room shifted. Murmurs rising. By 2023. Agri-AI saved over 5,000 farms from failure. Sold last month for billions, not luck. Not marriage. Defiance. Robert flushed. I believed in you my way. Really? She arched a brow. Jason cracked. Dad threatened our inheritance if we helped. Chaos erupted, accusations flying. The family's polished facade shattering. Tyler urged moving on, but Emily paused. Swallow for harmony. Or demand real reckoning. Her phone buzzed. Ex-boyfriend Mark. Saw Forbes. Knew you'd shine. Drinks? She showed Mia. Who scoffed? Emily typed, past stays past. The small rebellion rippled. Earning nods. You dined with the governor last month, Aunt Karen noted. Shifting gears. His AG policy uses your tech, caught soil erosion early. Emily detailed it plainly. Robert's eyes misted. I was wrong. Not sorry. But close. Faces softened, Aunt Karen's supportive squeeze. Uncle Ed's genuine queries. Let's meet properly, Emily proposed. Robert nodded. Overdue. 2 weeks later. In his office. Robert slid a folder over. Carter Agritech should include all Carters. Inside, rebranded Carter and Daughter Innovations. Promo materials ready, Jason beamed. Your name draws cash, we need it. Tyler nodded. Infusion for growth. Robert's plea, Your smarts and funds could save us. Emily traced the embossed text, seeing the opportunism. After dismissal, now they wanted her as ATM and figurehead. Appreciate it, she said, snapping the folder shut. Robert exhaled. Press conference, I didn't agree. She stood, revealing thought. Though, opening her laptop, Carter STEM Fund, $10 million for Midwest women in AG Tech. Jaws dropped. Investing in real change jobs. Breakthroughs. Robert twitched. But our legacy, yours. I've forged mine. Dinner tensed further. Robert carved aggressively. Your fund's cute charity. But business needs grit. It's venture capital, she corrected. Turning to Linda. Join the board. Mom. The knife halted. Me? I don't. You've run this house. Finances. Networks for decades. Robert sputtered. She can't. I accept, Linda declared. Spine straightening. Silence weighed heavy. Weeks on. Whispers. Robert in therapy for control issues. Tyler confided. Change is possible. Linda prepped board docs eagerly. The first grantee, a woman innovating drought-resistant seeds, thanked Emily tearfully. Before a Boston conference, Robert called. Come home next Christmas? Fragile hope. I'll consider it. A year later. Pulling up. Genuine welcomes awaited. Mia showed her code. Inspired. Brothers sought advice humbly. At dinner, Robert toasted equally. Proud of you all. Emily accepted warmly. No longer desperate. Mr. Jenkins arrived as guest. Toasting believers. Spring brought virtual workshops for rural girls. Mia mentoring. Nico interned. Learning fast. A new portrait showed equality. In the end, vindication's sting faded against change's promise, holding grudges or embracing shifts. The choice lingered. Bittersweet.